So first of all, I've got to say thank you. Now, the Sonic Universe, also known as Alex. Can I call you Alex?
Yeah, that's good, man. Yeah, please.
The Sonic Universe. So thank you for putting both your names to the Free the Nation music campaign. The movement, the international list is growing by the day. And I just want to say thank you for adding your name.
I'm honored to be on this list. It's a revolutionary new platform that you've created for unity and non-segregation, and man, I'm so happy that you're doing this. You know, I've been searching for you, not you in particular, but I've been searching for others that are you know, that want to be in this together, and you're creating the union for that, which is really awesome. Really awesome.
Yeah, well, it's great, and it wouldn't be anything if it wasn't, you know, for you and for all the other. We've got about 140, I think, musicians now, and we haven't been going a month yet, and we haven't got an advertising budget, and we don't have the music industry behind us, so we're doing very well, I reckon.
140, huh?
Yeah, and
amazing.
Yeah, and it's only growing. It's, you know, yeah, like I say, every day I get another email, and the word spreads, and the response from the musicians is great. But importantly, too, the music fans who felt really deflated and are feeling really deflated by watching their heroes let them down by supporting a segregated music world, not to mention just the world in general, but especially I think the music fans are feeling let down, a lot of them, by people that they held in high regard, who they believed had some integrity, that would have at least stood up for the right for personal choice. The number one reason that I wanted to go into this world of Zoom videos and initiating them, I've obviously done my fair share of reviews on the other end, but now it's time for me to ask the questions and to engage with people like you, Alex, who you made a really brave decision in these times recently that's what I want to talk to you and ask you about. Is there was a show that you had planned, and I saw on your socials that you pulled out of it, and if you could maybe tell us a little bit about that show and why you pulled out.
Absolutely. Yeah, so it was at the Troubadour in Los Angeles, and the Troubadour has hosted an array of musicians over the years. It's a historic venue, from having, you know, John Lennon to the Doors to Elton John's breakthrough in America, and you name it, and they've been there at the Troubadour. So ever since I moved to Los Angeles, I've always wanted to perform at the Troubadour. I mean, actually, before I moved to Los Angeles. So just my whole music career, I thought, that's one place I definitely need to be at, you know. But it's like a national or international touring acts kind of place, and you got to be invited. So finally, here I was at this point in my career when my band, the Sonic Universe, got invited to perform there with some other great bands, really great bands, and some people that I love, and. Yeah, and we had been planning this show since May of this year, and the show, you know, just took place like a few weeks back, I guess, and I think it was 2 weeks prior. I think it was just 2 weeks prior when they popped up the mandate on their website, and you know. When I had this conversation with one of the members of the other band who had aligned the show up, he said he didn't want to do it either. Like, he said that he didn't want to do it, but then after he talked to other people involved, probably the Troubadour as well, he said, no, we're just going to do it. Like, we're going to do it. We're going to put it on. People want to get out there. And I was like broken, because I thought, this is terrible. How can I possibly ask my fans to do this? I can't even bring myself to do this myself. And then what's it going to be? It's going to be a divided show. The people that don't want to do this won't be there. And then I'll be singing I'll be singing with a mask on. That's what they said.
No.
Yes. That even the singers, I'm like, this is the craziest thing ever. And so then I ended up having to pull out, and I was the only band that pulled out, and people were upset with me. But I thought, this is the defining moment. You know, somebody else said, well, you know, like, well, I believe in what you're saying. Like, I get that. Like, but let's just do this. Like, we need to do this. And then after that, we'll start spreading that message. And I'm like, no, it's, you don't understand. It's now or never. Like, this is the moment. And this is that defining moment in our lives where we say no, you know, and we say yes to unity and love and non-segregation. And we got to understand where we are in this point in history. Like, if we can look back a year from now or 2 years from now, then you will understand. But I understand it right now, and it's got it. I have to do this. And it split me up with people, but now they're kind of coming back, and they understand, and they're showing me love and stuff, which is really cool. And that's the story. And I made that announcement on my socials, and on TikTok. In the first day, it got 100,000 views and 5,000 overwhelmingly positive comments. That's all in the first day. And that video on TikTok, it continues to grow, even though they have told me they won't direct any more traffic to it. But people still keep on coming to my page. I'm actually shadow banned in many ways, and by that platform as well. It's interesting how they let it go out, but then they realized what it was saying. Because I didn't say anything. I said jab, but now apparently the word jab is in the system. Anyway, there you go.
So many words are in the system, aren't they, Alex? Soon there'll be names in the system, and Ben and Alex will be top of the list, I think.
That's right.
Maybe, right?
Right.
But we'll find a way to communicate through mime or something. Anyway, you know, you tell a beautiful story, and it'll be a historic story, no doubt, in my mind. I didn't realize the video had been so popular, but so it should be. And that's a telling of what the feeling is out there. And I think that what I sense is that the pressure that's been put on all of us for the last coming up to 2 years now means that some people are making decisions against their better judgment, against their spirit, what they deep down know is right, and they're being led certainly by the television. In this country, the propaganda is relentless, excruciating. We don't have a television because we can't bear to have it in the background or whatever. But many people are watching that, you know, from the moment they get up, it's on till the moment they go to sleep, and sometimes it's their lullaby. So that, you know, there's so much programming that's going on. And for you, you know, I think that it's a rare person, and we're finding out it's a rare musician too, who can be in touch with that voice that has a sense of what is right and wrong, and what is good and holy, if you will, and what is wicked and evil. And to tell a singer to put a mask on is just ridiculous for a start. But to set these precedents that they're trying to set. And that's why it's so crucial, these moments. And that's why I reached out to you straight away, because you stood up in that moment. You recognize it is now or never. It's not next month. It's not, let's do this gig because I haven't played for a while and I really need to get my chops going. And, you know, I haven't been laid, or, you know, I need the money or whatever. You know, there's lots of reasons why we could argue for just go along with it. But it is so crucial not to. And that's what Free the Nation Music is doing, bringing together people who are recognize that and are making that choice. So, yeah, really good on you.
Thank you, brother. Thank you, brother. Good on you. You know, and so is this the first Free the Nation interview?
It is the very first, and couldn't be with.
Yeah.
Yes, you scored it, and we scored it together. It's great,
Wow.
and I think that we both sense that this is a movement that's only going to grow because it's just so needed, it's necessary, and we're already seeing that. It's not just musicians who are feeling isolated, those musicians who won't go along with the segregation or the passive-aggressive intimidation. It's music fans who are also going, hold on. I met someone yesterday, and what did he say? It's never been cool to do what you're told. Well, apparently suddenly it is. Suddenly they try to say it is.
Suddenly it is. Well, and you wonder, here's the thing I wonder is like all those bands, and I mean, I'll say them right now too, like Muse. What about the album Resistance? I think it came out 12 years ago as an album. I mean, all of their music, and I mean, I could name a ton of my favorite artists right now too. Like, where are you? Where are you? That's what that music is about. How could you not be here right now? I don't understand. And I'm not trying to be offensive, but I want you to come and be here with us, because your voice could make all the difference. A big band, I see Coldplay, like, what, come on, like, be here with us, like, be here in this moment, take the stand, make this stand, right?
Absolutely, absolutely. I was saying, speaking to someone yesterday about on an interview I did with Carly and Julia on YouTube about who is going to be the musician, whoever it is, the big name that steps up is going to be pleasantly surprised. They are going to capitalize. Yes, they're going to get some backlash because the media is owned by 5 companies, and we know what they want to say about it. But the people, they are going to ignite the spirit. This is an opportunity. That's what I can't understand. This is an opportunity to go down in history as the real Dylan, the real John Lennon, the real Joni Mitchell, the one who will stand up and say, my music, I've always been singing about it. Now I'm going to live it. And I don't care what you say. Bruce Springsteen doing segregated shows, Foo Fighters doing segregated. We mean by segregated discrimination, shows where you're not allowed to come in unless you've had the double whammy, right? So it's all the justifications that are all fear-based and that are all based on erroneous data, right? With anyone who does a little modicum of research can figure that out. And you sense it, I think, even if you're buying into the fear message, can realize that this basic discrimination goes against everything that not only music stands for, but that is good in life. And it's for us, some of us, it's an easy decision to make, no matter what they try and take away from us. But obviously, for others, it's not so easy.
Right. Well, we see it happening all across the board in all different fields, especially looking to healthcare, doctors and nurses, and just losing their jobs the other day, all across the United States. I know, in California and New York, and all these people just like, and they're not getting pay either. They're now unemployed and they have families, and that's a huge risk, but they know that this is it. And so what I'm saying is since we're talking about music, right? We have an artist that has, okay, if you have millions of dollars in your bank account right now, in your personal bank account, then who cares at this moment what happened to your repertoire? Because who knows? You back out, you say, I cannot go with this narrative, and I will not do that. Well, you might be surprised. They might say Ticketmaster actually, or what was it, Live Nation, for a while. I don't know if they're going to respect this anymore, but Live Nation said it was up to the artist. So I think that's still going on. So there's a point where, but of course, if you as an artist say that, you're going to get the backlash from your team and all the label and everything like that. But if you just said, I don't care what happens, like they could take away my masters and they could take away whatever, and I'll be fired and I won't have any of my intellectual property. If that was the case, that's the worst case scenario that could happen as an artist. And if you've already got money, then you got the people support. Let them take your masters. I mean, that's not going to happen anyway, because you're going to be able to fight it. Whatever the case is, you can hire a legal team and you'll fight it. They're not going to take your stuff forever. And so I don't understand why, like, that it's such an opportunity, because and you Ben, you make me passionate right here. I haven't spoken like this about, I've done some other interviews about this, but like for whatever the reason, like I really am calling on these artists, because like, look, me, just little old the Sonic Universe, coming out with this, and I got in one day, I had thousands of new super fans. That was just in the first day. Thousands of super fans, orders flying through into my my website, just people pouring out love. Like, if that's not God saying, listen, like, do what's in your heart, like do that, I don't know what it is, because I would think that you get all this backlash, but you'd also get all this love. So
yeah, they will get all the love. It's I know there's artists, I think Prince was one of them, who to get out, like, he'd lost his control of his masters, I think, at some point, but then re-recorded a whole lot of his repertoire. Or it was someone like that, anyway, of that level, who basically, maybe it was the Beach Boys, but anyway, it was an artist of high standing who for whatever reason lost control of most of their music, but just redid it and it gained control. So there's always a way around it. And what I think is most important for these artists to consider is that to be in the moment of life and in this day, and to make the choice, because none of us know what is around the corner. Now, if the choice that you make, if the last show you play is a discriminated show, that's on you.
That's on you.
I don't care what your reason is. Millions of people, history won't care what your reason, how scared you were. They won't care. It's on you. And
if they had a gun to your head, let them blow your head off, because is it worth it, right?
Obviously, it's pretty simple to us, and maybe we need to have many more arguments. By arguments, I mean reasons to help people in situations where they feel that they must go along with it. And one of the things you touched on, which I think is worth mentioning more, is the team of people around big artists who benefit from a clear and easy to define image. Which is controlled. Now, if we stray from that, how many artists have stylists, have managers, have press agents that shape the narrative around this artist? The look, of course. We're not going to do that video. It doesn't suit us. We're not going to put out that song. It's not on our message. It's not on brand. All that messaging that's going on. And there's all these parasites, which is what they are, around the artist. And they're feeding the artist with what is the message and what you want to be doing. And this is not what you want to be doing. You want to be doing this, and this constant message. And while some artists start out with a clear voice, and that's what makes them so engaging, that voice is often muffled as their career grows, because there's so many people around guiding them and shaping that voice.
Right. Well, I guess in some ways we could say that this could really help independent music too.
Yeah. Oh, right on, Alex, right on. And look, so if you're watching this video for the first time, we at freethenationmusic.com have playlists. Alex features on those playlists. And the playlist we've got there, mate, I'm really excited about music again. And I didn't realize I wasn't excited about music until putting these playlists together and going, and I'm discovering new music, and I'm getting into genres that I haven't been into for a while. And just really so happy that I've got that music by independent artists that's part of my life now. And so rather than lamenting or despairing, as I was for a brief period of time, about artists that let me down, I'm now going, well, that's just the old. Now there's a whole new world. And yes, I think this is already a great opportunity for independent musicians and for music fans.
Right. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, because now more than ever, it's important to have the control over what you say and what you feel and how you're going to do your business. what you're going to play, like how you're going to play these shows. And we have the choice, you know. I keep on in my head, and it's very simple name, but it's just like the freedom tours, the freedom venues, the people that stand up for freedom and that don't want to segregate, and do whatever it's going to take. Just like, I don't know if you saw my New York City stuff. I was in New York City for the better part of a whole week. I went 2 times during a week. This was last week or the week before. And so I got to experience firsthand what it's like in a place that is completely segregated right now. And if you need to get coffee or get something to eat, you can't. Like, unless you present something at the door, or unless you know where to go. So it's important to have your tribe, because there are restaurants that say we aren't discriminating. And you know what? They're just standing up and they're saying, I don't care what you do to me. At this point, you could shut me down. I'm going to stand up for the people. And those people are so brave because it's their business. But they're like, but that's the same thing as a music artist. You're like, well, this is my business. But at the same time, we've got it good as an independent music artist, because we can just take this to different levels. We can have big festivals in the fields and just say, screw them, like, take it back to Woodstock, whatever.
Absolutely. And the difference is that we are welcoming everyone. And it's so simple an idea, because there's not really an idea. There is just a continuation of the love and acceptance that, for obviously you, Alex, and me, music represents. So I don't care what your medical history is, what you've put into your body, and why. When you come to hear me sing, that's an honor for me as a musician to be able to sing for you. And I'm not going to put any conditions on you. It's so abhorrent an idea that I can't even entertain it. So the thing is, everyone is welcome. There seems to be some shows happening now that we know they are, where not everyone is welcome. I don't want to go and associate with people who want to go to a show like that. That's not my tribe, to use the word you used, Alex. It's not the people. So in a way, I'm very fortunate, and we are very fortunate, those of us who care to pay attention, that the world is in some ways dividing, but it's also bringing us together with those that can help us to live the life we want to live. You know, I like being when the grunge was happening in Melbourne, I like being in the mosh pit with people I didn't know, with strangers, bumping up against them, throwing my bodies into them, and there was this.
I know. I've always loved that too.
Because it brings us together and allows us to be express sort of aggression, if you will, but in a safe place and in a way that we go, where this is intense, isn't it? But we're all going through this together. We're not going to get in a fight. Wow, I didn't know you could do this. For a boy from the suburbs, that was a revelation for me, that it doesn't have to end in a fight, bumping into someone. I was waiting for the punch to come. I was like, but no, mate, just jump on my shoulders or whatever, it's fantastic. And so now to move from that to having the Foo Fighters playing to people in pens, it's a bad acid trip, man. It's like, what's going on, so we'll just go.
And I don't know if everyone heard, and you heard as well, but what happened, like, with the Foo Fighters after they took the stance to say, hey, we're going to play segregated shows. And then they had an outbreak within their crew.
That's right.
And they had to cancel.
Yeah. Karma's a bitch, right? And it's instant.
Yeah. And I've seen a bunch of these types of things happen, like in New York City, when they had that big show with, they had Santana and Paul Simon and Journey, and and all these people went with their masks on, and you know what, it poured, and they all had to leave the stadium with wet masks, and it was a sad day. But everyone that had been following that kind of just thought, that's, I don't know, is that God's tears? Just like, hey, no, we're not going to do this. So
Hey, Alex, it's so wonderful to talk to you, and I feel like I could talk to you all day, but I want to keep this a bit brief so that people aren't overwhelmed and can get into it, and we can share this
Oh,
message.
absolutely.
Right. So the Sonic Universe, wherever I share this, I'll put some links, but people can search the Sonic Universe on Spotify, website. You're pretty much everywhere. Got good coverage on your social, don't you? What can people do if they want to get your music and support you? What's the best thing in your feelings?
Yeah, a great place to go is thesonicuniverse.com. And get on the email list, because like I said, you know, this shadow banning across multiple platforms is really a thing. So I would recommend that, because I have other stuff in the works, decentralized, you know, crypto type based platforms that are not censored. But I'll need to give you that information. I'm working on all that. So please go to thesonicuniverse.com, and there you can go to the store and browse through a ton of different merch that I've designed all myself, and then I also send out signed CDs. So that's cool too. And then of course all the music is also on iTunes, so you can purchase it there. So.
Fantastic. Alex, thanks so much for being the first interviewee for Free the Nation Music, our website and our campaign, our movement. The nation, of course, is the nation of love. It's a global movement now, and we're so happy to have you on our simple list of musicians supporting freedom. And any musicians out there who want to add their name can do so by contacting me at freethenation@protonmail.com, and we'll add you. It's very, very easy to be part of this movement, which is a very simple movement about freedom.
I just want to say blessings to you, brother. Thank you so much, and blessings to all the musicians that and artists that have joined so far, and I hope that a million more will join very soon.
Thank you, Alex. What a great interview it's been, and a pleasure to talk to you. I'm going to speak to you again for sure.
Much love.